rather you were misled. Individuals and groups without legitimacy have manipulated history.
Members of the Abenaki Council of Odanak and Wolanak from Quebec spoke at the Vermont State House during a public workshop called What If We Got It Wrong? Abenaki leaders and experts presented evidence that tribes previously recognized by Vermont are not Abenaki. Jacques Watso is a councillor of Abenaki Council of Odanak in Quebec.
We call them the Fraudinakis of Vermont, the 4 fake tribes that claim Abenaki ancestry, our indigenous ancestry.
You're in our territory.
No, you are in our territory.
It got heated at times. The Vermont Abenaki people voiced their opposition. Don Stevens is the chief of the Nulhegan Band of the Kawasak Abenaki in Vermont. He insists the Vermont tribes are legitimate.
We are indigenous, and we have been living here for millennia, and we have our lived experience.
The workshop was organized by State Representative Troy Hedrick, who felt Vermont's recognition process was flawed.
I'm grounded in the evidence that I find incredibly compelling that we did get it wrong. And this despite any sort of federal standards that clearly identified the Vermont recognized tribes as not indigenous.
4 Vermont Abenaki tribes received state recognition in 2011 and 2012. Watso says they were misled.
And it caused all the harm that it does now. And it's not just a state problem in Vermont. It's a North American, not even a global issue on cultural appropriation of indigenous voices.
Abenaki traditional lands stretch from Vermont and north into Canada. Colonization and war in the 17th century forced the Abenaki to move north, where they established the Odanak and Wolanak in Quebec. But 4 groups in Vermont say they are Abenaki. Watso says the evidence proves otherwise, and the groups are causing harm.
Because they are rewriting our history, they have access to the burial remains of our ancestors. They are funneling public funds that are destined to indigenous voices, and they are erasing us by replacing us.
The Odanak Abenaki took their opposition to the United Nations Permanent Forum last year, including renting a billboard in Times Square to denounce Indigenous identity fraud.
They take our culture, they speak in our place, they take our voice.
Since the workshop, Hendricks introduced a bill to the Vermont House of Representatives. It proposes to change the process of state recognition of Indigenous tribes and create a task force which will include the Abenaki of Odanak and Wolanak to review the validity of prior recognition of state tribes. Hendricks says including the Abenaki is significant since they were not included in the 2011 and 2012 discussions, which led to Vermont recognizing the 4 state tribes as Abenaki.
This is a mistake that our state legislature made well before I got there. I do feel it is my obligation now as an elected representative to correct that mistake and to repair the harm from that mistake.
But Stephen says this process already happened in 2010 and 2012.
Now, we did follow the United States process, which is to be recognized by a state or federal government, and we did that. And there was a complete process with scholars and also with the legislative body. So creating a bill to do the same thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me when we were recognized almost 15 years ago.
Watso says the bill is a good step forward, but there is more work to do.
It's a widespread phenomenon. It's a tsunami of wannabes claiming our ancestry and monetizing it. We see it. It's on everybody's lip, and now it's time to unite on a common front to say enough is enough.
Angel Moore, APTN National News, Jabutuk, also known as Halifax.